concept development 3201. So for the problem statement, it was basically just that I found that most schools in South Africa uses traditional teaching methods and only that, and that obviously is not the best way for everybody to learn. So the aim of this project is to create a space where students can come to complete their projects and homework, and have people there to help them to learn in a way that they will better understand. And the category of the project is contextual, and it's a user-centered approach, as this is literally specifically designed for the students. So for the user profile, the people that will actually use the building would be students, their parents, and the staff members who work there. So for the students, I will be focusing mainly on the students from grade 1 to 3, and then from grade 4 to 7. So students from age 7 to 13. I just thought to do this because that is sort of the foundation of where they learn how to actually complete their projects and how they're actually learning. And if you start off with the right way of learning for yourself, it will like sort of help going into high school. So then for the parents also, I want to just create a small space for them so that if they do take their children there after school or over weekends and they need to do some work, then there is a space where they can do that without having to drive up and down to drop the children off and fetch them again. And then for the staff members, obviously they need to be there. And I also just want to design like a little kitchenette for them where they can make like coffee and tea or just warm up their food and stuff like that. And then they will also there'll be like storage space within the building as well as separate office space for them. And then they will obviously use the actual classrooms and everything to which they've been assigned. So for the site analysis, I looked at 3 different sites. They're not all in here. But so I decided to go for Paarl, and then the actual location is 421 Main Road in Paarl. It was a doctor's office, or it is a doctor's office, but that will obviously be changed. Yeah. So then on the next page over here, I just looked at how the light will come into the building. This is obviously north coming from that side. So I want to make that and that side all sort of, or not glazed, but big windows and stuff to get as much of the northern warm light in as possible. Yeah, and this is just sort of a 3D of what it is like now. So you can see like all the walls and the separating of all the spaces, which is something that I will be changing. I thought that this was a good site location because it's got a big like yard area, which I will then turn into a garden. It's got off-street parking, which is quite uncommon on the main road, like for office buildings and stuff like that, or not office buildings, but just like shops and stuff off the road. So if the parents are going to be dropping the children off, you kind of want them to just be able to get out of the car safely and not have to cross the road and things like that. Also, the main road is obviously the main road, so a lot of people drive past there and know about it. So yeah. Then for the building program, so this is just the basic layout, just showing obviously the parking will be there, garden space is green, and then the actual building part is grey. And then this is what will be happening here. So it's been separated into like 4 different sections. There'll be an activity room, which is separate from the rest of the building. The library will be here with the classrooms, and then this would be the reception, and then the office space for the staff. Then here, this is just showing the movement, how you would like move through the building and go off to the sides. And upstairs, because there's a small upstairs area as well. This is just showing that it's like 4 separate entities. It's like the main entities. Over here, I'm just explaining, so where I would be putting in walls and partitioning. Most of it would be open plan except for where the classrooms are and the offices over there, where the bathroom, office, and then like the foyer. And this is just the relationship between garden, library, and classrooms. I want there to be an overlap between like, there needs to be like inside, outside, and then over here as well, obviously, as students work in conjunction with the library. Then over here, this is just looking at the existing building. It's quite concrete, just standard building. So I'll be changing that. I'll be adding some transparency within the open plan setting. And then it would be a dynamic space that can change with the way that the students learn and with the requirements that like the teacher would need in order to teach. Places can be made bigger or smaller, furniture can be moved around easily, stuff like that. So for the precedent study, I looked at Rallum School, which is in Sunningdale. This is like a new age school that focuses very much on technology and 21st century learning. Um, it's all about collaborative learning and having students socialize and almost more equipping them for the future, like when they're out of school. Obviously, mine is for younger children, but same concept applies. And then another precedent I was looking at is Lishan Elementary School Library. So I kind of looked at a school and a library as my two main precedent studies, as I'm sort of going to merge the two things. So this library I really liked because it was the kind of finishes that I would want to use in my design, and it the way that it's laid out, it sort of combines like um, learning and reading and collaboration and quiet space and all of that, but in such a way that it's separate but at the same time together. So I like looked at the floor plans and everything of that, um, and for the next part of the project, I'll be going into more detail about that and applying that to my design as well. So for the mood, I want it to be quite calm inside, calm and natural, because I want just students to come and actually, concentrate, not be distracted by like too many bright colors and all of that. But I'm still going to introduce color, obviously. But I just liked this sort of mood, calm and natural. Then for the inspiration, I just looked at sort of the same sort of colors that I want to, or finishes that I'm looking at and textures. And then having like big windows looking outside on the grass in a garden. Um, yeah, and just having like alternative spaces that are different but still functional. And for my concept proposal, so this is just a drawing of what the building looks like from outside. This was just sort of a interior sketch of how it could be set up with the glazing and looking out into the garden. These are the things that I most want to focus on, is ventilation and having clean air, not just moving air, but having like good air quality within the building, because that also helps with concentration. Then to have looking at circulation as a big part, because if there is going to be furniture standing around and then also like being moved around, it's going to be quite challenging, but that's really essential. And then yeah, the next one's obviously dynamic, because I want um, the interior spaces that are open plan to be quite dynamic. And then the other thing is 3D literature. So that's why there'll be like VR rooms and stuff like that, where children can understand what they're reading in a three-dimensional way, easier. Yeah, then over here, it's just also again showing the 4 different entities, the main ones. Here, just showing what is going to be closed off and what will be open plan. So this little activity building will be completely open plan, as well as the library. And then the closed off part would be obviously where the office and the bathroom is, and the classrooms. And then over here, you can see classrooms will be there, foyer, because this is where you enter the building. Storage for just the needs of the users of the building, library, bathroom, office, and the reception area. Then these are the as-builts that I sort of also just looked at with like in relation to what I'm going to do and change. So again, this is just color coded with like where everything will be, as well as here on the elevations. So yeah, that is my project.